In November 2022, the James Webb Space Telescope took some pictures of Saturn's moon Titan, in which surprisingly clouds were seen moving in Titan's atmosphere. Although several different pictures of Titan had been taken before this as well, but the view seen in those was never this clear and detailed. As much as we can see today in the pictures taken by this telescope, this is a clear indication that Saturn's moon is indeed alive. There are continuous geological activities happening here, whether it's the flow of liquid methane in the rivers and seas on its surface, or its extremely dense atmosphere, or the movement of clouds in its atmosphere. After Earth, Titan is the only other solar system body with surface liquid movement. Of course, these images of Titan taken by James Webb Space Telescope are the clearest and highest definition images so far, which reveal many secrets. This one discovery has once again drawn scientists' attention towards this moon of Saturn. Now the question is, if Titan really has geological activities like Earth, then how likely is it for life to develop there? Amidst all the speculations, National Aeronautics and Space Administration is once again about to begin its exploration of Saturn's largest moon, Titan. In such a situation, it will be very exciting to find out whether Titan can actually support life, or if it's just a noisy, silent river. Well, to uncover all these mysteries, stay tuned to today's special episode. Today we're taking you on a journey to Titan, millions of kilometers from Earth. As you may have learned in our previous episodes, Titan has always been at the top of National Aeronautics and Space Administration's interplanetary research hit list. That's why, in the 1970s, the Voyager spacecrafts launched from Earth observed it up close and brought us a wealth of information related to it. Based on that information, we later sent another dedicated mission to Saturn, which was called Cassini-Huygens. It was a remarkable mission that studied Saturn and its moons in great detail. This spacecraft was specially carrying an atmospheric research probe which was sent through the clouds of Titan. In fact, Titan's extremely dense atmosphere did not allow us to see through it. During our previous encounter with Titan, we tried very hard to see the surface of Titan's. That's why, in the 1990s, National Aeronautics and Space Administration and European Space Agency came up with an amazing technique. Cassini-Huygens mission's design team presented an impressive idea. They said that studying Titan while staying in orbit is difficult. Why don't we dive into it? Why don't we float through its atmosphere, slowly reach its surface, and collect all the necessary data and information? Actually, it was a special kind of gliding probe which helped make many important discoveries by going inside Saturn's moon Titan. The data received from the Huygens probe confirmed the presence of liquid hydrocarbons on Titan. These discoveries also revealed that Titan has its own water cycle. Obviously, using the term water cycle here is not appropriate. But still, whatever you call it, yes, all the hydrocarbons on Titan, whether it's methane or ethane, they don't flow. Instead, due to the heat of the sun, they evaporate and start rising up towards the sky, and then, after reaching up there, after cooling down, they condense and give birth to clouds which later on cause rain. When methane and ethane rain falls on the surface, it collects in liquid form in valleys and cracks from where many rivers and lakes originate. Truly, this is amazing. The work that you see water doing on Earth here, all of that is done by these liquid hydrocarbons. And the most surprising thing in all of this is that despite being so far from the sun, this entire system continues to function as it is. This is the twist that compels scientists to search for evidence of life in this freezing graveyard. Anyway, by the year 2008, both Cassini and Huygens spacecraft had arrived. Dora, many secrets of Titan were uncovered. Most of the data obtained from these probes had already been analyzed by scientists, and all their findings and research papers had been published. It's obvious, after this deep research, some new mysteries and questions also emerged before us, for which we needed to make our research even more advanced to find the answers. But for that, we needed an opportunity that would once again take us closer to Titan. It's not like a nearby neighborhood where you can just go whenever you feel like it. Before conducting a scientific mission, a lot of work has to be done. From mission planning to financing, there are many complications that need to be resolved, so launching a new mission so quickly is just not possible. Anyway, let's bring this story to the present day. National Aeronautics and Space Administration, as powerful James Webb Telescope, has released detailed images of Titan moon. These pictures were taken on November 4th and 5th, 2022. As you can clearly see in these pictures, on the 4th during the rain on Titan, the sky was completely covered with clouds, and the very next day after the rain, all the clouds cleared away. This was truly surprising for scientists because apart from Earth, we had never seen such a scene on any other planet or satellite in the solar system until now. This discovery greatly aided National Aeronautics and Space Administration scientists in understanding how precipitation works on Titan. In these images, Kraken Mare, which is a large reservoir on Titan, can also be clearly seen. National Aeronautics and Space Administration's prior finding reports have suggested the possibility of vast reserves of water and ammonia beneath Titan's surface. As a result, there are also many glaciers there that are suspected to contain water along with methane and ethane. All these things lead us to the conclusion that Titan is not a dead moon. In fact, geological activities are still ongoing here, which are continuously bringing changes to its form and structure. When we think hard about it, the thought comes to mind that at one time, our Earth also looked something like this. At times, a thick layer of ice covered the entire Earth. Thanks to all these changes, conditions developed on Earth today that made the emergence of life possible. A few million years ago, when water first appeared on the Earth's surface in liquid form, then some microscopic organisms emerged that would later populate this barren land. Our understanding tells us that almost wherever life develops, it requires time and changes. With changing times, changes occur, and because of these changes, such circumstances are created. Later on, life begins to breathe. The environment of Saturn's moon Titan also hints at something similar. An extreme distance from our sun, extremely low temperatures, and complete darkness all around. Despite being dominated by hydrocarbons, the chances of life emerging here are strong. Of course, till today we haven't found any evidence of life existing here, nor do we have much information about this moon. But still, our scientific understanding and experience give us hope for the presence of microscopic forms of life here. And if nothing else, at least this world survives on hope, my friends. The human colonization of another planet represents a leap forward in our cosmic exploration. Currently, the main aim of our emerging technologies and space agencies is to establish sustainable habitats on celestial bodies like Mars. The main challenge there is to adapt supporting systems, resource utilization, and harsh extraterrestrial environments where innovations in propulsion, terraforming, and self-sustaining ecosystems play an important role in facing these challenges. Such colonization can reduce the risk of being completely dependent on Earth and can further expand humanity's presence in the universe. Not only that, it can also promote scientific progress and ensure the existence of our species in facing unexpected challenges on our home planet. Friends, the search for interplanetary habitat is a symbol of humanity's resilience, curiosity, and determination to reach beyond our astronomical boundaries. The colonization of Titan, one of Saturn's moons, has long been a subject of fascination and speculation for scientists. As humanity pushes the boundaries of space exploration, the possibilities of establishing a colony on Titan are becoming increasingly interesting. So, will this possibility one day become a reality? What is the potential future of Titan and what challenges might we face in this process? Let's find out in today's video. But before understanding the Titan colony, let's first get to know Titan well. Friends, Titan is Saturn's largest moon and the second largest moon in our solar system. It is surrounded by a dense atmosphere made mainly of nitrogen with traces of methane and hydrocarbons. A unique combination of organic compounds and the presence of liquid hydrocarbon lakes make it an attractive target for further exploration. One of the primary motivations for exploring Titan is the possibility of discovering extraterrestrial life. While traditional life is not possible on Titan, due to its cold temperatures and lack of liquid water on the surface. However, scientists believe that microbial life may exist in the moon's subsurface oceans. And if this is confirmed, this discovery will have a profound impact on our understanding of the origin and prevalence of life in the universe. Titan's atmosphere is dense, primarily composed of nitrogen with traces of methane and ethane. In fact, its atmosphere is even denser than Earth's, although Titan's gravity is quite weak. Apart from Earth, Titan is the only celestial body in our solar system on whose surface stationary bodies of liquid substances have been found. However, this is not a water body, but these are lakes and rivers of liquid methane and ethane. Titan is a subject of interest for scientists because its atmosphere and surface contain complex organic molecules. Scientists call these molecules the building blocks of life. The study of these tells us about the possibility of life somewhere in the early Earth and the universe. Whatever we know about Titan comes from the Huygens mission, which is a National Aeronautics and Space Administration spacecraft that studied Saturn and its moons. How it was not taken there, a probe Huygens successfully landed on Titan's surface in 2005, providing a lot of valuable data about its structure and environment. Radar observations of Titan's seas have revealed many mysterious features, which are called magic islands. Their special feature is that they appear and disappear. This led scientists to speculate that they are caused by changes in liquid levels, waves, or bubbles. Let me tell you that Titan's surface is extremely cold, where the temperature drops to about minus 290 degrees Fahrenheit, that is, minus 289 degrees Celsius. It is formed with an extremely cold and dense atmosphere, which is why Titan appears hazy. Titan is considered a prebiotic environment, which means it has the necessary conditions for the formation of prebiotic molecules. But it lacks liquid water. Scientists show interest in studying Titan to understand those processes, which could lead to the development of life or its building blocks in an environment different from Earth. So with this, let's now understand human colonization on Titan, friends. Establishing a colony on Titan will bring many challenges, like the extreme cold temperature there. As I told you, the average surface temperature of Titan is about minus 290 degrees Fahrenheit, that is, minus 189 degrees Celsius. That's why we will need advanced thermal insulation and heating systems to go there. Apart from this, due to the lack of a breathable atmosphere, it will also be necessary to create a pressurized environment for human habitation. Due to limited sunlight reaching the surface of the moon, the Titan colony will also need innovative solutions to generate electricity, where even though solar energy is feasible, it will be much less efficient compared to Earth. But alternatively, nuclear power plants or the use of the moon's methane lakes as fuel sources can be considered, where efficient energy production will be important to maintain the life support system and to make organic research convenient. Ensuring a stable air and water supply will also be very important for the existence of the Titan colony. Friends, as we all know, Titan's atmosphere has a lot of nitrogen and lacks oxygen. Therefore, a closed-loop life support system will need to be developed, which is capable of recycling and regenerating breathable air. Friends, water on Titan can serve as an important resource which can be extracted from Titan's subsurface ice or by harvesting the methane lakes. A reliable food production system will also be needed to sustain the Titan colony. Due to the absence of sunlight on Titan and limited space for traditional agriculture, alternative methods like hydroponics and aeroponics can be adopted. Combined with advanced LED lighting systems, these soil-less farming techniques can provide a resource for growing crops in a controlled environment. Maintaining communication and connectivity with Earth will also be very important for the Titan colony. Due to the great distance between Titan and Earth, traditional radio transmissions will be significantly delayed. Therefore, to establish a dedicated communication network, relay satellites or an advanced laser communication system will be needed. This will help control the mission, ensure reliable communication, and enable real-time data transmission. The Titan colony will actually serve as a center for scientific research and exploration. Friends, Titan's unique geology, hydrocarbon lakes, and atmospheric conditions provide a unique opportunity to study planetary processes and astrobiology. Robotic missions and human exploration of Titan's surface and subsurface can provide valuable insights into the history of the Moon and a wide area of planetary science. Beyond scientific research, understanding the important economic aspects of Titan's colonization will also help us a lot. The extraction and use of methane and other hydrocarbon resources can serve as a valuable resource for fuel in space exploration missions. In addition, various industries on Earth could also gain additional benefits from advanced technologies and basic infrastructure developed for the Titan colony. Like any effort related to the colonization of celestial bodies, ethical considerations should also be taken into account. And ensuring the responsible use of its resources will be very important for us. Following international cooperation and an ethical framework will be important in guiding the development and operations of the Titan colony. Let me tell you, the future of the Titan colony holds immense possibilities for scientific discovery, space exploration, and possibly even for human existence away from Earth. However, any challenges in this endeavor should be addressed. Scientists, engineers, and policymakers working together can achieve this ambitious mission. As we continue to push the boundaries of human exploration, the possibility of a thriving Titan colony will remain an astonishing sight for our future in space. What do you think? Will we really be able to successfully build a human colony on Titan in the future? Let's move towards the mesmerizing rings of Saturn, where our spacecraft is waiting for us, well placed in Saturn's orbit. Now it actually starts doing the work it was designed for. That means from now on, it gets busy carrying out its real mission. Cassini spacecraft was itself a highly advanced and high-tech spacecraft equipped with cutting-edge technology. Its extremely complex yet versatile design makes it an ultimate landmark in space engineering. The spacecraft had 1,630 electronic components, about 22,000 wire connections, and 12 scientific payloads. These were designed to perform various scientific experiments and calculations. For power, this spacecraft also had a nuclear reactor, which was powered by plutonium-238. 33 kilograms of plutonium were sent with the spacecraft to Saturn's orbit, which powered it for the next 19 years and 335 days. Well, the moment of the first achievement of this mission came when this spacecraft headed towards Saturn's moon, Enceladus. When Cassini reached near Enceladus, it saw something very strange happening there. Actually, covered with a thick sheet of ice, icy plumes were coming out from the surface of Enceladus. The material coming out from the cracks on the surface of Enceladus looked like a geyser. Many scientists even compared it to those volcanoes that spew not lava but ice. Cassini studied Enceladus a total of 3 times in its lifetime, during which it made every effort to find the reason behind this mysterious phenomenon. It was then revealed that these icy geysers are shooting out from the core of Enceladus. When Cassini investigated this mysterious event, it discovered Enceladus was responsible. There are vast oceans of water beneath the surface, which appears rocky and hard on the outside. Inside this layer of ice, there is an infinite reservoir of liquid water which comes up with very high pressure, just like geothermal geysers found on Earth. Because this has been happening for a long time, even now. An icy ring now circles Enceladus' south pole, which Cassini saw for the last time during its third observation. These 3 Cassini-Enceladus encounters occurred in January, February, and July 2005. After this, it once again headed towards Titan. By the way, doesn't this planetary family of Saturn look so beautiful, just like our own families? It also has many characters who care for each other, support each other, and most importantly, maintain balance. Well, now it's time to learn about Cassini's second biggest accomplishment, Titan. In July 2006, Cassini once again had a close encounter with Titan, during which it pointed its high-resolution camera towards Titan and made optical observations of it. During this time, Cassini tried to understand Titan's geography and composition. Under this, some camera-based evidence and spectrometer readings revealed the existence of extremely large liquid bodies on Titan's surface. However, even before this, scientists had a sense of the presence of liquids on Titan, but they had no idea how widespread this liquid was on the moon. Cassini told us that these are huge liquid bodies filled with methane and many other liquid hydrocarbons. In this sequence, they appear as numerous lakes and seas. Just like on our Earth, everything from water lakes to oceans exists in wide varieties. With all these discoveries, it's been proven that if any place exists in this solar system that most closely resembles Earth, it is Saturn's moon, which is called Titan. The series of discoveries by Badba had just begun. It was yet to reach its conclusion, and this journey moved forward and changed direction once again towards Saturn's moon, Enceladus. But this time, Cassini had reached Enceladus with a new perspective and a new purpose, and this time, as soon as it arrived, it completed its unfinished work there. Actually, this time Cassini collected samples from the geysers erupting from Enceladus. It analyzed the material and found out what that substance was actually made of. This moon keeps continuously spewing out, and the research found that this material contains not only normal water ice but also some organic compounds, which was a hint of the presence of life on the moons of these gas giants. Life can emerge even near the most extreme planets of this solar system. We were seeing this for the first time, and once we saw it happening, our hopes for them increased a lot. But this time, the extension was for a full 7 years, and this new mission was named Cassini Solstice, and again, this marked the beginning of a new chapter in this journey, but this time Cassini had to focus solely on the planet Saturn. Formed mainly by strong winds and storm clouds, this storm spanned an area of 15,000 kilometers, making it the largest and most terrifying storm ever observed on any planet in the solar system. The wind speed in this storm could be seen reaching 330 miles per hour. Anyway, then came the year 2015 and Cassini had almost entered deep inside Saturn. Actually, this was the final phase of the mission in which the spacecraft had to study Saturn's outer atmosphere but the innermost rings. In this way, it closely observed Saturn's atmospheric structure, the effects of storms there, and changes in weather, and sent us very important data back to Earth. In addition, Cassini also made a surprising revelation about Saturn's rings and its companions. This discovery also revealed that Saturn's rings are quite young, meaning they were formed several 100,000 years after Saturn itself was formed. They also came into existence due to a major collision with a large asteroid or a moon. And should we wait until we lose contact with them, or should the team end this mission in style on a special date? National Aeronautics and Space Administration chose to give their warrior a respectful farewell on September 15, 2017 by letting it rest in Saturn's atmosphere. That's exactly what happened. In this grand finale, Cassini collided with Saturn's grey clouds and passed through them. It will always be remembered by humans because this spacecraft completely changed the way we look at Saturn's grey. By the end of the 70s, we humans had reached all the inner planets of the solar system, from Mercury to Mars. Our orbiters were circling all these planets and constantly sending us the data they were collecting from these observations. This led to a revolutionary expansion in our human understanding of the solar system. We were able to uncover those secrets of the solar system that, until yesterday, were just unsolved mysteries. By now, we already knew these inner planets with solid surfaces. So now it was time to push our limits and look at the gas giants beyond the asteroid belt. This task was difficult due to the vast distances and harsh cryogenic environment of space. Going there was very difficult and risky. In fact, at the beginning of this mission, many missions had failed, but finally, in the year 1997, by the time the year arrived, we had come very close to our destination. Yes, we are talking about National Aeronautics and Space Administration's great space probe Cassini-Huygens, which was sent to Saturn and completely changed the human perspective of this ringed planet. And not only Saturn, but this probe also brought us closer to many of Saturn's moons. Along with that, we will also uncover many mysteries as we go. But you will have to stay with us until the very end of this journey, after which you too will become familiar with every detail from Saturn's mysterious rings to its enigmatic moons. So let's begin our journey by going back into the time well. The date is October 15th, 1997, when a Titan V rocket launched from Launch Site 40 at National Aeronautics and Space Administration is Cape Canaveral Air Force Station in Florida. With a loud roar, the rocket begins to ascend towards the sky, and in no time, it disappears from the sight of the onlookers. A traveler was on this rocket, now leaving Earth forever for its destination. This traveler was none other than, rather, it was the first messenger sent by humans to Saturn. It wasn't just anyone. In these 20 years, Cassini traveled 4.9 billion miles. During this extremely long journey, Cassini orbited Saturn a total of 294 times and witnessed the entire voyage. That's 453,048 pictures, which till the end Cassini lived up to its credibility and finally introduced us to the wonders of Saturn. Well, this was Cassini's amazing timeline. Now let's become a part of this journey and learn about every moment of Cassini's voyage when we work on the world of astronomy. When National Aeronautics and Space Administration was responsible for preparing the Cassini satellite for this mission, the Huygens probe was being developed by them as well. Let me tell you here that both of these components were named after two great astronomers, Giovanni Domenico Cassini and Huygens, and in this unit, the Huygens probe was developed. Finally, once all mission procedures were completed, on October 15, 1997, it was launched from Cape Canaveral Launch Station towards the dark space forever, where the real journey of this mission began. The powerful thrust from the rocket pushed it out of Earth's orbit, but it had to cover the rest of the journey on its own. In this sequence, as it moved towards Saturn, it first encountered Venus and then Jupiter. Or you could say that it was deliberately sent through a special trajectory where both these planets came in its path. And there was an important reason for doing this. And it reached its destination, Saturn, in normal time, and now the date was June 30th, 2004. Finally, after traveling 1.2 billion miles, Cassini was in Saturn's orbit, and from here, this spacecraft began to carry out its real mission. So, in the first few days, it stayed in a close orbit of the Moon and performed some orbital maneuvers and calibrations. Meanwhile, it reached extremely close to Saturn, just about 1,900 miles away from where the views of this beautiful planet looked like this. After Voyager 2, this was the first spacecraft to show us Saturn's rings and clouds up close. Initial data and photos came from this spacecraft. They were so effective that after seeing them, scientists' hopes for Cassini reached the sky. It was being estimated that Cassini would also prove to be a landmark mission like Voyager, which would forever change the human perspective of viewing the planet Saturn. And that's exactly what happened. As soon as Cassini reached Saturn, it began a series of discoveries. The first discovery in this series was about our solar system, about the investigation of its birth and existence. Actually, scientists suspected that if we could somehow succeed in studying these gas giants, it would become much easier to solve the unsolved mysteries of the solar system. And that's because these gas planets remained in a stable, locked orbit, which was very close to the Sun. Apart from these facts, the important things that Cassini told us were about Saturn's composition. In fact, this finding revealed that Saturn's composition is exactly like Jupiter's. Its atmosphere has thick hydrogen and helium clouds. At the planet's center, a core of boiling liquid metal reaches 8,300 degrees Celsius. It is surrounded on all sides by a covering of heavy metals like iron and nickel. Well, this unique structure of the planet Shani also helps us understand other gas planets, since other gas giants also work on a similar structure. Once you understand composition and geomorphology, optical observation begins. Cassini starts observing the planet Saturn with its onboard camera, and in this sequence, Cassini has its first encounter. Saturn's moon Phoebe looks just like an ordinary asteroid. Its surface is completely covered with impact craters. The data received from the onboard infrared radiometer on Cassini told us that mainly its composition includes frozen ice and heavy metals. After this discovery, it was time to fly by Saturn's largest moon, Titan. This was Cassini's first encounter with Titan, and during this very first meeting, Cassini took many pictures of Titan. In these pictures, lakes and rivers flowing on Titan were visible. So, to go even deeper into this, finally Cassini dropped the European Huygens probe. On January 14th, 2005, the Huygens lander passed through Titan's thick clouds and reached the surface. After this, the action began. During its 2-hour and 27-minute journey, the Huygens probe explored Titan's clouds, and this exploration was its real craftsmanship. Actually, it was designed in such a way that even though it was a lander, it mainly studied Titan's clouds and upper atmosphere. Moreover, while slowly descending with the help of a parachute, it kept capturing data, and at the same time, it kept sending that data in real time to the Cassini probe orbiting Saturn. And then that same data traveled through National Aeronautics and Space Administration's Deep Space Network and reached National Aeronautics and Space Administration Jet Propulsion Laboratory. So overall, that was Huygens' main job. While descending into Titan, it studied its clouds, atmosphere, geology, and topography, which it did very well. However, once it landed on Titan, its connection with Cassini began to weaken. But despite this, it managed to maintain contact for the next 72 minutes, and we received a lot of valuable data from it. Well, as far as the findings of the Huygens probe are concerned, especially the Huygens Entry Descent and Surface Imager instrument on Huygens, the atmospheric structure instrument informed us about the physical and electrical properties of Titan's upper atmosphere. We also learned about the force patterns present there, which allowed us to study the forces acting on that moon in all 3 axes in detail. And this was a major step towards understanding the physics of the Saturn system. The Doppler wind experiment also helped us track radiation on Titan. So its most important component was the onboard camera, which is known today as DISR. After all, this is what worked as our human eyes. With the help of this camera, we humans witnessed the magical views of the mysterious moon. Actually, this camera came into action when the lander reached just 20 kilometers above Titan's surface, and from then on, until it reached an altitude of 8 kilometers, it continuously took pictures. These include everything from Titan's clouds to the flowing rivers of liquid methane there. So, soon this scientific machine also shut down after its battery ran out. whether it's Enceladus's erupting geysers or its mysterious rings. This spacecraft showed us all those sights that our scientists once only imagined. Do you want to know about all those discoveries? Do you also want to go deeper inside Saturn? If the answer to both these questions is yes, then the second part of this series will be coming soon for you. Meanwhile, share your opinions and feedback in the comments below. And friends, if you liked today's video, don't forget to like it and share it with your friends. Also, if you are new to Documentary Library, make sure to subscribe and enable the bell notification so that you can get videos on astronomy and space science. First of all, friends, let's meet with such a new informative video. Till then, stay curious, be happy, namaskar.